Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to today's session on Essentials of Competitive Programming, brought to you by CodeChef VIT-Chennai in collaboration with TedXVIT-Chennai. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our speaker, Mr. Mithun Balaji. He's a passionate and accomplished computer science enthusiast who has consistently demonstrated excellence in both academics and leadership. Most importantly, he is the former General Secretary of CodeChef VIT-Chennai, where he actively mentored students and strengthened the culture of competitive programming in our community. Beyond his role here at VIT Chennai, Mithun has been a part of numerous seminars and conferences, both nationwide and international, giving him a global perspective on technology, innovation, and problem solving. His exposure to diverse platforms has shaped him into a highly experienced individual with a deep understanding of how competitive program ties into real-world application. He's also a strong advocate for AI for good, financial inclusion, and entrepreneurship, showcasing how technology can go beyond solving problems to driving real social impact. With his unique blend of technical expertise, leadership experience, and global outlook, Mithun is the perfect person to guide us through today's session and help us elevate our problem solving skills. So, let's give a warm welcome to our speaker for the day, Mr. Mithun Balaji. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Darshini. That was great. I just want to see if people are active. So if you're active, can you just react something? Just to know that you are listening. So if you guys are in fact listening, please react something, or just type it in the chat. Anything else? Yeah, all right, sure. So, okay. So before we actually start the session, I got a good question for you guys. I think I would like to start by actually solving it. So can you guys see the question? Selection. So let me see. I'll put this here or somewhere. I think someone is in the lobby. Could you guys let them in?
We'll manage it. You can continue.
Yeah, sure. So the screen is visible, right, guys?
Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, okay. So I just want to explain this question. Let me take my. Sorry, I don't have anything other than paint to actually explain, but I think it'll be pretty easy. So the question is, let's say that we have this n, which let's say is 3, and then you'll be given an array of length which is n. So let's say you have numbers like 0, 1, and 3, and you have to find the number that is missing from this particular array. So I just want you guys to think about how you would go about solving this. You don't need to code it up. I just want you guys to think about how you would actually solve this. Any volunteers? You can think about it for a minute, and then I'd really appreciate it if you guys could come ahead and work it out with me. Just for another example, let's say if n is 7, and then the array is, it doesn't have to be sorted. It can be like 6, 7, 2, 4, 3, and then 4, 5. Yeah. So the missing number here is 1, and here it's 2. So how would you actually solve this? That's what I'm asking.
Maybe we'll start a for loop and check what elements are present, and whichever is missing we'll maybe add that depending on the
How
length
would
of the
you?
array. Like if the length is
Uh,
3, we'd like to check a
okay.
loop from 0 till 3. Whichever
Okay.
element is not available in the list with the for loop being
Okay.
executed, maybe we'll add that element.
Okay. Sure. That will work. Then that's great. But is there anything else we can do? Something that could be done in just one line, if that's possible.
And just a minute, guys, don't like if you want to answer, please like unmute and answer here. Chat box mostly not visible, so try unmuting here and answer.
Yeah. I forgot that chat box exists. Just a minute. I don't think I can see the chat actually, so it'll be better if you guys can unmute. Yeah. Anyone else have any other solutions that you can think of?
Somebody put in the chat box that we can calculate the sum and subtract it from n into n minus 1 by 2.
Yeah, sure. That's exactly the answer I was looking for. So for those that did not get that, let me see. If n is 3, the sum of first n natural numbers, it will be 1 plus 2 plus 3 will be 6, which is also the same as n into n plus 1 by 2. So what you can do is you can calculate the actual sum, and then you can subtract the sum of the entire array from this sum. So this entire sums array will be sum of the array will be 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. You can subtract it from the 6 and you would get 2. That's this could be implemented in just one line. This is very optimal because you don't have to actually go through any trouble to implementing it. So was that clear to everyone? I'll just look at the chat. Was that clear? You can either unmute and say it, or you can just type it in the chat. If you do not understand, I can explain it again. Okay, sure. So let me just go back to my presentation. So that was the solution for this question, and then that's basically it. You have become a competitive programmer. Congrats. This was a real CP style problem in that it required you to think about not just in the way of data structures, but you had to think about it in the lines of actually optimally implementing a solution. But that was very basic. I have another some planned which we will get to at the end of the session. But for now, I was gonna say this, but I think Darshini did a great job of doing this, so we'll just skip over this. So before we actually do that, what do you guys think CP is? I think I showed you a glimpse of it, but yeah, just go ahead. Just tell me what you think of CP. When you hear the word CP, what do you think? Anyone? I know there are a lot of people in the group. That's a great answer, Rajesh. But what actually is competitive programming? How is it different from DSA? I just want to hear what you guys already think, so that we could work with that. Yeah, that's great. Solution to a problem in an efficient way, putting data structures to do code more efficiently. That's great. That's what CP is, and you are right. But this disguised math, that's exactly correct. But yep. So that's actually correct. But in my opinion, competitive programming is all about logic. It's, in my opinion, at least, it is just logical. Everything in CP is actually very logical, and it involves a lot of math. But the main thing is you need to solve problems within constraints. And the two most common constraints are usually time and space. Are there any freshers in chat? Maybe you solve this problem in simple way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, freshers. Okay, so I don't think you guys know about time and space complexity yet. So I have a brief slide about it. But for now, all you need to know about time complexity when you're at least starting out is you don't need to know about it. That's the main thing. But just for the sake of knowing, time complexity is the a measure of how much your execution time changes with respect to the input. So let's say that let me take my paint again. Let's say that you have an array size of 3, n equal to 3, And then let's say that each instruction takes 1 second of time. So if the complexity was O of n, this would take just 3 seconds to execute. And then if n was 4, this would take 4 seconds to implement. So as you can see, the time to execute, which is the execution time, scales linearly with the input. So if you change input from n to n plus 1, it will change by just 1 second. That's what linearly is. Let me see. Okay. But let's say the time complexity is O of n square and your n is 3. So this would take 9 seconds because it's O of n square. And if it was 4 seconds, it would be 16 seconds because it's n square. Uh, when you have numbers which are very less in quantity, like n equal to 3, n equal to 4, the difference might not seem that much. But as you get to like let's say 10 power 5, the linear solution will take 10 power 5 seconds, but the quadratic uh, uh, thing will take 10 power 10 seconds, which is a very huge difference. It's an order of 10 power 5 difference, which could be very influential in determining how much time your program runs for. That's why if you want optimal code, you need to lower time complexity as less as possible. A simple shortcut to calculating time complexity is basically you just look so you just look at how many for loops the program has. It has only one for loop, so it's O of n. And here there are two for loops, and the for loop is inside the first for loop. So this would run for n time, and this would run for again n times. So it would run for n square times. That's basically the intuition behind coming up with time complexities. There are other time complexities, but you will learn about it when I think in second year. Was that clear? You sure. And then coming to space complexity, this is not something we worry about a lot in competitive programming, but it's basically how much space your code actually taking to run. So the same example, if you have just an array, and it has n elements, let's say 1, 2, 3, and till n, this would be just O of n space. But if you have a matrix, say 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9, this would obviously contain a lot more elements. So it will be O of n square because one n is for the row and one is for the column. You don't really worry about it a lot in competitive programming, so it's something that we don't really need to get into it. And then, yeah, was that clear? Okay. So coming to the next topic, why do you guys think we need CP? CP is extremely difficult, so you need to put a lot of time to actually get good at it. Why? Why do you need to get good at it? What can you hope to achieve by doing CP? Does anyone want to answer? You might be familiar with the concepts already.
Because by doing CP, we can create code uh, with
I mean,
less
yeah,
time complexity or less space complexity, and code will be more faster than previous codes.
yeah, that's great.
Like that.
That's a correct answer. Yeah. So anything else helps improve problem solving, debugging? Yeah, true. Anything else? Why do you need to do CP in terms of your college days? It improves problem solving. True. Everything else is true. But what is the use to you as a student? Obviously, placement. Yep. It's a sport. You can do it as a hobby. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you have listed almost everything that I wanted to say. First, it actually helps you a lot in actually thinking about problem solving. It helps you break down problems into sub problems, and then you can solve those sub problems very easily. So, for example, let me think of a good example. Uh, mm, how do I give an example for structure problem solving? So if you wanted to find the number of if you wanted to find the number of people in VIT, you just wanted to estimate it. What you would do is, how would you actually approach this problem? You would think, okay, let me think about the number of years there are. So there are actually 4 years multiplied by the number of students per year. This would give you the number of students in VIT as a whole. So how would you actually work out the student per year? So, but you would this could be further broken down into subproblems such as number of departments that we have, number of departments into students per department. So each component could be further broken down into subproblems. So by this way, you break down such a huge problem, which is finding the number of students in VIT, into subproblems that you can actually realistically solve. That's what problem solving actually is. So it helps you a lot in doing that, and it's a very highly demanded skill in the current job market. And it's also used as a measure of intelligence by tech companies. They think that if you are good at CP, you would be good at obviously everything else, which I have some gripes with, but it is what it is. And speaking of that, it's also one of the best ways to get placed in when you're in college. All the marquee offers, 20 plus LPA, they have a QA round in the beginning, which in which is shortlist using CP, basically. So that's one of the best ways to get placed. And like that other person said, was it Russell said, it's also it's a sport as well, and it's really fun to do. So that's that as well. And then I do for every topic. What do you guys think about CP versus development? How do they differ? So before we move on, actually, do you guys have any doubts about why we need CP? Anything else? Polar opposites. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, true. I wouldn't say exact opposites, but yeah, it's somewhat true. So anything else? So, okay, I don't think we're getting any more answers. So you can move on. So competitive programming and development are obviously very different. Like Sofian said, it wants CP to get opportunity. Not exactly, to be honest. We had a senior who was my senior. In fact, his name was Nikhil. He did not do almost any development. He did only CP, but he was damn good at it. He participated in, I think, what was the competition called again? I forgot. ICPC, yeah. Yeah, Nikhil, yeah, exactly, yeah, ICPC, yep. He did very less development, but he got placed in Google for 60 LPA through college. He was really good at CP. He was the ex competitive programming department lead, actual, yeah. He was 9 pointer, yeah, exactly, yeah. That's another discussion altogether. 9 pointers and non 9 pointers, but basically you don't really need development to get placed, but it helps a lot because getting that good at CP is extremely difficult. So the main differences are that competitive programming has exact answers. So you know that you're working for this particular output. You need to make it as optimal as possible. That's the main thing in competitive programming. But in development, it's more open. There are multiple ways to go about solving a particular problem, and then you need to think about your users as well. And then the main things are user experience. How do you scale the particular application? How do you actually maintain it? But they are like uh, you know two face of a coin. You need algorithms, and also you need actual development to actually build a product. For example, Google Maps. The actual application that you see is development, but the actual underlying algorithm that it runs on, which is the pathfinding algorithm, is CP, obviously. Uh, Anything you guys wanted to ask or add to that? Okay, I think we're good. So how do you start with CP? This is something that's that a lot of people struggle with, because although the information online is there, you many freshers have trouble starting with CP. I was there too. In my first year, I did not know anything about CP. I only came to know about it in my second year. I think towards the end of my second year actually. So raising awareness about CP is extremely important, because it's really fun, and it also helps you a lot in securing jobs and also getting smarter basically. So the first thing is about learning. The first thing is obviously learning the basics. Abdul Bari helps you a lot in that. This videos are something that we religiously followed in our for our DSA and DAA. I think many third years might actually know about Abdul Bari, and he was here as a speaker in our recent event also, Decode DSA. So this is a very good place to start if you're extremely new to DSA. This is but when you get more into CP, this might not be as useful. So for that, there is the Strivers A to Z sheet. Then don't worry, guys. We'll forward the links of everything here in the group once the event is over. So don't worry about it. Here you get the exact map of what you need to do. So learning the basics, and then from everything from easy to the extreme difficult, everything is here. So you can just follow this religiously, and you'll get really good at competitive programming. And then once you actually know the fundamentals, you need to practice a lot. That's where Code Forces, CodeChef, and Lead Code comes in. We being CodeChef, we obviously think CodeChef is better, but CodeChef is more beginner friendly in my opinion, at least. And Code Forces are it's something that you do once you get very familiar with CP. So I would suggest actually starting off with CodeChef and then moving on to Code Forces if you feel like CodeChef is not really challenging you much. This is how the UI looks. You'll see it once you actually make an account there. And the main thing is you can join clubs like CodeChef, which is our club, and then there are a lot of other technical clubs in VIT. You can join any number of them. The main thing is you get to be part of a community of programmers. It helps a lot, because I started my CP journey by joining CodeChef, and I was directly mentored by Nikhil. That's why I actually became really good at it. Give as many contests as possible regardless of platform. Yeah, ad code. Yeah, ad code is pretty nice too, but it's very unheard of from what I've seen. I don't see many people talking about ad coder. There is CP sheet. Oh, interesting. I just followed Striver's CP sheet. I'm not sure what of the other CP sheets. If you have any other resources, you can just drop them. Other resources are there's this site called I forget the name. I will look it up once the event is over, and then I'll drop it. CSES, yeah, CSES problem set. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we'll share all these resources when the event is over. Yeah, Priyan Shagalwal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I think Priyan Shagalwal is paid, but this is free. So yeah, moving on. If you guys could just take a moment to follow us, it'd be really appreciated. I'll stay in the screen for a minute so you guys can, open your Insta and give us a follow. Yeah, CodeChef actually scales with your expertise. So when you're starting out, it is pretty easy, and then as you get very good at CP, it challenges you a lot. Code Force is challenging from the start, so can't really talk much about that. They'll be dropping TEDx's Insta page link also in the chat. I'm sorry I didn't include it. Question it. Yep, fifth question. The goddamn fifth question. So we saw a very simple question at the start, and I wanted to do this not really difficult, but somewhat complicated question. Not really complicated, but it's something unique. If I could just, okay, interesting. The hyperlink does not work. I'm not sure why. Great. I'll just look it up. Okay. Thank you, Fari. So this is the question, guys. I'll just explain the question in a very simple way, so you don't need to read through all this gibberish. Basically, you have end stones. There are two players, player 1 and player 2. Each player can pick up either 1 or 3 or 4 stones in their
Hello.
turn. Yeah. Someone was saying something. I think maybe it was an accident. So okay, let's move on. So each player can pick up either 1 or 3 or 4 coins in their turn, and the player who picks up the last stone, which is, let's say, there are 1 stone, and then player 1 pick up that stone, he wins. Basically, that's the whole thing. So how do you guys think we can approach this problem? You don't need to actually solve it. You just let me know how you would approach it. Oh, yeah. Let me put this. Okay. So do you have any people who are actually trying it? Could you just let me know if you're actually thinking about it? Just drop a message like I'm thinking about it or something. Anyone wants to try? It's actually really interesting. So you can just just tell me what you think could be the way to go about it. Interesting. Okay, fine. I think I might have went a bit fast. I'm sorry. So you have end stones basically, okay? And there are 2 players, which is player 1 and player 2. And in each turn, they can pick either 1 or 3 or 4 stones on the ground. So let's say that there are 5 stones, and then it was player 1's turn. So he picks up 1 stone, and so there are 4 stones remaining on the ground. And it's player 2's turn, so you can just pick up the 4 stones, and you can win the game. Basically, that's the question. So given a value of n, you need to find out which player will win. And in questions like this, you just assume that the player plays optimally, so that if, let's say, there are 4 stones, this player won't really give the other player a chance to win by taking just 1 stone and making it 3 stones. You would pick the 4 stones and win. That's the meaning of playing optimally. Do you want me to repeat it again, or did you understand? Yeah, sure. So you take like 2 minutes to think about it. It's really fun once you actually work it out on paper. And it's actually really unique too. Pick the last player to play, and he's the winner. I don't think I quite understand. It's the last player to. So has anyone gotten close to figuring it out? Or do we move on? Does anyone want to try? Come on, you can only learn by actually doing it. Doesn't matter if you fail. You can just give it a try. Player n mod 4, mod 2 equal to 0. And player 2 wins. Okay, that's a good try. Do you want to explain why you think that way? Like, what was the reasoning behind that n mod 4, mod 2? I think you're on. If you could unmute your mic and talk, it'd be great. That's 8 stones, then 4 plus 4 equal to 8. If 4 means 4, 4 equal to 1. I mean, yeah. I understand where you're coming from. That's what I mean. That's a good way to approach. Yeah, we'll look at a different way. We'll when we're actually solving it. But okay, does anyone else want to try? Enable the. Yeah, sure. You can leave and join. Yeah. I don't know if the person is coming back,
Hello.
but I don't want to. Yeah. Are you Tarakeshwar?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Can you explain your reasoning?
Yes, I am saying like if there are 8 stones, so n
Yeah.
mod 4, it would be like 0 because 8
Okay.
mod 4 would be 0 and 0 mod 2 will be 0. So it would
Okay.
be like the second player is winning. Otherwise, we can say like 8 equal to 4 plus 4.
Okay.
So the first person, if he takes 4 stones, and the other
Okay.
person, he would be taking another 4 stones and he would be winning the game. But if there is
Why do you think? Okay. Yeah. Go on.
But if there is actually only 4 stones is there, then if they are playing optimal way, they would be taking most number of stones. So if the player one takes all the 4 stones, means he would be winning the game.
Okay.
So based on this, I figured out this partial one.
Okay. So if there are 8 stones, why should the first player take only 4 stones? Why can't he take 1 or 3?
He can take one, but it is not necessary that the other player must take 4 stones.
Yeah.
If he takes like some 3, or if he takes 1 means, then another the 6 case will come, and if he takes 4 means then 1 1. So cases might come.
Yeah.
I
So as
thought
you can
like the
see,
optimal case, maximum.
yeah, I understand. I understand where you are coming from, but we don't need to maximize the number of stones that each person takes. That's another problem altogether. But I understand where you're coming from. That's a good way to think about this problem. But what we'll be doing is, does anyone else want to try, or can I go and explain the solution? I think it's fine. I'll just explain the solution. So So instead of coming at it from a top to bottom way, so wherein you say if there are 8 stones, if he takes 1 stone, it'll be 7, and if he takes 3 stones, it'll be 5, and then if he takes 4, it'll be 4, and then there'll be 3 cases again for this, 3 for this. As you can see, there's a lot of cases here. If you start from the top, so what we'll do is we'll start from the bottom. So like the question said, the player 1 actually starts. Player 1 starting first. So player 1 actually starts first. So think about it. So if there are only 1 stone, there is only 1 stone remaining, and it's player 1's turn, he will win. He can just take the 1 stone and he will win. So player 1 wins, right? DP, yes, I was expecting this answer. DP you can use, that's usually what everyone uses, but you want to show the difference in terms of the difference between CP and actually DSA. That's why I picked this question specifically. So what Sophian is saying is you would use DP, dynamic programming, to solve this, but there are better ways to solve this. I'll show you. It's one line of code and this will be solved. So is this clear? If there's only 1 stone, the player will just take the 1 stone and he will win. Just react something or drop yes in the chat box if you got that, or if you have any doubts you can ask. Okay, so let's say you have 2 stones, right? So what will happen here if it's player 1's turn? So if it's player 1's turn, he can take only 1 stone. He can't take 3 stones because there is only 2 stones left, so he can only take 1 stone, and then the number of stones left will be 1, and then player 2 will take this 1 stone and he will win. So player 2 will win, right? So in terms of this number 2, whoever has 2 stones right in front of him will lose. Was it clear? It's basically because if you have two stones, you can only take 1 stone, and then you automatically lose because the other person will take the 1 stone and he will win. Any doubts till this point? Yes. Okay. So let me just erase this thing. So the player who has 2 stones will lose automatically. So going by this logic, the player who has 3 stones will win because he can just take the 3 stones. The player who has 4 stones will win because he will just take the 4 stones. What will happen if you have 5 stones? Does anyone else want to try? It will be boring if I'm the only one explaining. So what will happen if someone has 5 stones? Will they win or lose? Anyone? Just think about it. Think about what the player can do when he has 5 stones in front of him, and then think what he can do if he plays optimally. Lose because whatever amount he removes, opponent gonna take the rest. Yeah, they will win. I'll explain why. So he has 5 stones, right? He can take either 1 or 3 or 4. If he takes 1 stone, so if he takes one, let's say 3 possibilities here. He can take 1 stone, 3 stones, or 4 stones. If he takes 1 stone, it will be 4 stones left. If he takes 3 stones, it will be 2 stones left. And if he takes 4 stones, it will be 1 stone left. As you can see, if any player who has 2 stones in front of him will lose, the best way that this player who has 5 stones in front of him, the best possible way for him to win would be to take 3 stones, so that the player next to him will have 2 stones, so that he will automatically lose. That's the most optimal way for him, because if he takes 1 stones, he will have 4 stones left. So the other person can just take the 4 stones and he will win. Player 2 will win. If he has if he takes 4 stones, there'll be only 1 stone left, which the player 2 will take, and then he will win. But if he takes 3 stones and there are only 2 stones left, Player 1 will take 1 stone. So player 2 will take 1 stone. There will be remaining 1 stone left, which the player 1 can take, and he will win. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Is there any doubt about it, or do you want me to explain again? This is very crucial that you understand this to actually understand the solution. So if you have any doubts, please speak up so that I will explain again. Understood. Okay. So as you can see, if you have 5 stones, the player will win because he will take 3 stones and he will win. So let me erase all this. So 5 stones is a win condition for us. What about 6 stones? Anyone? You can just drop the answer in the chat box. You don't need to explain. Just say will win. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Then, but what about 7 stones? What will happen if a player has 7 stones? Think about it. Think about it. Player 2. So you're saying that the player. Okay. Player 2 will win for 7 stones. Yeah. So since we're talking about it in terms of player 1 will lose. So player 2 will win. Right? That's what everyone is saying, right? I think that's what everyone is saying. Okay. So we can move on. So 8 stones. Think about 8 stone. He can take 1 stone and then give 7 stones to the player so that he will lose. So 8 is a win condition. What about 9 stones? I'll stop bothering you after this particular this particular case. Yeah, lose. You will lose because if he takes 1 stones, the player will get 8 stone and he will win. So this is 1 stone. If he takes 3 stones, the player will get 6 stones and he will win. If he takes 4 stones, the player will get 5 stone and he will win. So whatever he does, he will lose. So if you keep on extending this, for 10 stones, he will win. 11, he will win. 12, he will win. Let me see. Wait, 12 he will win. So 12 he will take 1 stones, 3 stones. Okay, I think 12 is a win. Yeah, 12 he will win. See, 13 he will win. 14 he will lose. 15 he will win. 16 he will lose. Can you guys see the pattern here? The pattern is, let's just write out the numbers which will lose. Okay, so number 2 will lose, number 9 will lose, number which is the next number here? Number 14 will lose, number 16 will lose. I think I made a mistake somewhere. Just a minute. Okay, no, it's fine. Yeah, number 7 will lose. Yeah, I left out that one number. So 2 will lose, 7 will lose, 9 will lose, 14 will lose, 16 will lose. Yeah, 2, 7, 9, 14. As you can see, it's plus 5, plus 2, plus 5, plus 2. So following the pattern, you will get another plus 5. So 21 will lose, plus 2, 23 will lose, and so on. This is understandable? Any doubts until this point, guys? Okay. But this might be pretty hard to implement in actual computers. So what we'll do is we will not follow this 5-2-5-2 pattern. If you observe carefully, 2 plus 7 is 9, 9 plus 7 is 16, 16 plus 7 is 23, 7 plus 7 is 14, 14 plus 7 is 21, and so on. So this will be 28. So it has two distinct series. where it's 2, 9, 16, 23, and so on. And then 7, 14, 21, 28, and so on. So what can you observe from this particular stop. What can you actually observe from this, from these two particular series? What is the observation? Yep, exactly. Yeah, n mod 7 should either be 0 or 2. Difference of 7, but yeah, in terms of remainder, it should be either 2 or 7. So this is it. You don't need to implement DP. You don't need to do anything fancy. You just go here. I have already done it, sorry. But yeah, basically, if n mod 7 is 2 or if n mod 7 is 7, you return false so that the first person will lose, else you will win. That's basically it. You don't need to implement DP, memorization, tabulation, anything. This is simply it. This is what CP is all about. You think about different ways to solve problems and you do it in an efficient manner. So if you do DP, it takes O of n time, right? Depends on O of n square, I think, depending on the problem. But this runs in O of n time. It's instantaneous. You just do one computation and you get the answer. Yep. Is it pretty cool? Come on, guys, show your enthusiasm. Come on. So yeah, that's pretty much TPS. Very exciting problems. You find out very exciting solutions to the same. Not all problems are like this, but most of them are. So yeah, and it actually runs. I'm not scamming you. I'll just run it and show. Yep. Okay. All test cases passed. So yeah. So that's it, guys. And before we actually get into the Q&A, I wanted to tell you something. So you are, I don't know, in first or second or third years, and you see your peers doing different things, you know, ML, some are doing web development, some are doing CP, some are doing, I don't know, cyber security, and then you feel like you want to do it too. You have all these shiny things in front of you, and then you feel like you need to do it. Yeah, too much FOMO, exactly. Yeah, but you don't need to do it. See, this is something I struggled with a lot. I despised development, actually. I didn't like development even a single bit, but everyone around me was doing it. And then I wanted to do it too, but then I sucked at it. I was not good at it at all. I forced myself to do it, but I didn't find it enjoyable. I would be good at it, but I didn't find it enjoyable. So the thing is, you don't need to do it if you don't like it. That's what I wanted to say. Many people might not agree with it, but you can. There are so many things that you can do so that you don't need to actually force yourself to do something that everyone else is doing. You can do your own thing. That's something I wanted to tell you guys from as a senior who's in fourth year. So yeah, if you have any doubts from the session or about anything, you can ask me. The session is officially over. If you guys want, you can leave. I think there's some outro thingy. So could you guys get your outro thing done so that people who want to leave can leave?
Yeah, that would be me actually. So, yeah, I would like to officially wrap this up by saying that thank you very much, Mithun Anna, for being such an insightful and an inspiring person. Personally, this session was really helpful for me as an electronics student. And you talking about your journey, your experiences, and key takeaways, they have actually given me a fresh perspective on my competitive programming journey. And not just as a skill that we should develop, but also as a mindset that we should all be thinking of. And this is something which is relevant to everyone also. And the strategies and the valuable insights you shared today will definitely help all of us approach problem solving with more clarity and more confidence. I would also like to give out a big shout out to our amazing participants because they are our drive. They are the reason why we conduct events like this. Their energy, curiosity, and active engagement is what made the session more impactful. So without them, we wouldn't be there. So thank you, participants. We hope that you're not just walking away with new knowledge, but also motivation to keep pushing your boundaries in the realm of competitive programming. With this, CodeChef VIT Chennai, along with TEDx VIT Chennai, signing off. I would like to thank all of you, including the student and the faculty coordinators, for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you very, very soon for our upcoming events. Thank you.
Thank you, Fari. That was great. So if anyone has any questions, you can ask me in chat or you can unmute and ask. Otherwise, the event is officially over. You can leave.
I will share a feedback form if that is fine.
Yeah, sure. Can you do that in the actual group also if the
Yeah,
participants
sure.
don't? Yeah.
Guys, it's just suggested you leave after filling the feedback form.
Yeah, please. We conduct a lot of events. It'll be great if you guys can give your feedback so we can improve. Yeah, guys, if you don't have anything to ask or say, you can leave. The event is over.
Hello, Mithunana. I have something to say, or I just want your opinion about this.
Yeah, sure.
I wouldn't say I exactly relate with you because I have not tried the develop anything from the developing side at all. But then it feels like there is not something for me. I know I have not explored anything in those domains, but then there's this peer pressure that makes me, I don't know, feel it a bit overrated. So I'm not sure
Yeah.
if it's something for me. And coming on to competitive programming, so I've been solving questions on the CodeChef platform. I've been attending contests, but you know how it works, right? Like the questions,
Yeah.
how they're set up. So it feels a bit frustrating because even solving an easy problem like the first two questions feels like a huge win, but then when I get stuck on something as simple as that, it adds so much pressure, so it's a bit frustrating. And I don't know where I stand, whether it's on the developing side or the competitive program side, or I'm questioning whether is this even for me.
Interesting. So, do you want me to? Okay. This is something that you need to ask yourself. Okay. So you you're thinking about doing either competitive programming or development. So why only those two options? Is there nothing else that you can do? I mean, like that you can explore. Like the other things I talked about, ML, cybersecurity, anything.
But then I know nothing about all those, and these are the two like major things the rest of them do. I know. Okay, how do I even explain? majority of the people, go for the web dev or anything related to that, but then it feels very overwhelming when I
Are you
begin with that
in third year or second year?
second year.
Second year is the perfect time for you to try out anything that you want. Even in third year, in my third year, I was trying to get into development. I didn't know anything. I mean, I knew the basics, but I didn't like it, so I still tried getting into it. So the thing is, in second year, you have plenty of time to actually do what you want to do. You can actually experiment a lot. And the thing is, you were saying that you're not very enthusiastic about development, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So if you actually do CP and you actually did get good at it, which you obviously can, because it's just about practice. Anyone can get good. Anyone can get good at competitive programming to the point where they can get placed. So if you do get a good job by doing competitive programming, you will be doing development in the job. Basically, you will be a software engineer. You will be doing development projects. So just thinking about I'm saying that don't just think about what you will do in the next couple of years, which is trying to get good at CP or whatever. Think about what you will do in the future too. Once you actually get good at CP, you will be doing a development job. Will you be fine with the development job? If that's fine, go ahead. You can try to struggle to actually get to it, but if not, you need to consider your actions as well. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
In my I will answer the question, Anand, just a minute. In my case, I did not like anything related to computer science. I tried different things, and none of them stuck with me. So, and I discovered that I was interested in something entirely different, which was the business side of things. So I'm studying to get my MBA. So it's not just that you should get a tech job after studying VTech. There are a lot of people who do many other things. So your options are unlimited. You can explore anything that you want. I came to know that I like the business side of things, and then speaking with people, because when I got the general secretary post in the club, by connecting events, by speaking with people, like realized that this is what I actually like. So that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, you don't need to limit yourself just to tech also. How to start CP for a fresher? Should we learn DSA first and start it? I mean, there is not really much difference between DSA and CP. Even in CP, you use all the things, data structures, arrays, lists, whatever, and then the what is it? The everything else, it's basically the same, man. The thing is, in DSA, it's more structured. In CP, there are different ways to solve question. Like the one that we solved, the one in DSA, the same question could be asked in DSA, and what you would do is you would implement a dynamic programming approach,